Now we're gonna go to the other side of the penny, and how come there are other people that said, no, I don't need a new Switch Pro? Mostly are, again, including myself, first of all, the hardcore gamer, casual who's in tune to the video game industry that have other console with them. So I have a PS5, I have a Series X, like I said. I treat my Nintendo console as secondary to play those rich first-party games. I don't care. I don't mind. So that's what I do to some extent. I guess I'm in the camp of I don't need one, but if it's there to some extent, then I want one. Am I gonna buy it day one? Probably not. No, I'm not gonna buy it day one, but at least it's there. Versus maybe a PS5 or Series X. I mean, heck, I'd even buy it when it was first coming out. I was waiting for a year, but they never came out until 2 years. And now looking at it, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I have those systems. Again, different story there. Second, and this is a tricky one. There may be Nintendo fans, Nintendo loyalists, but they don't have the money. They're happy to what they have. So again, what's the old saying goes? Be happy to what you have at least. I mean, to some extent, that's true. So there are some that, yeah, I like my Switch, but I can't afford a new Switch. I don't have a lot of money. I'm not going to spend my money on something as luxury. I need that money for something like food, clothes, roofing, bill. There you go. And that's why they're saying that I don't mind. Are they lying to themselves? Maybe. Who knows? It's none of my business. But again, that's the reason why. That's my theory. And then another one are you have to understand the Nintendo audience to some extent. Yeah, there are always going to be that hardcore that loves Nintendo no matter what. You're a Nintendo collector, you buy stuff, anything Nintendo, you buy their variation of system, whatever. But Nintendo also have casual gamer who just basically accept the basic necessity. Just the standard, not the luxury, not the premium, just your standard experience. What do I mean by that? So not everyone is like, oh, I gotta get like a Switch Pro controller, which I did an impression on my main channel. That someone may be just a casual Nintendo fan, but not very in tune to Nintendo themselves. Oh, I got my basics. So I got the console. Hey, look, I got the Joy-Con. It comes with the Joy-Con grip. I'm happy. That's it. Oh, you know what? I only have a 1080p TV. That's a go 4K. Hey, look, I'm okay with that. That's the standard basic there. They're happy with it. It's kind of like someone who's happy eating Taco Bell rather than going to... I'm going to go with, I don't know, this one's still open, Acapulco, which is an expensive Mexican place, versus Taco Bell. Again, it's something like that. Basic food rather than fancy food, and they're happy with it. To some extent, I'm like that. Like, I'm happy to what Nintendo offers, so I'm not going to say, I want new, I want that. Like, it's great. If it's there, sure, I want it. But do they need to do it as soon as possible just to please me? No. No, not really. So, that's the reason there. And then, of course, the biggest one here I want to give my thoughts on is the secondary versus primary. Nintendo Prime, props to him. He kind of gave his definition, and I agree. It's subjective. Because the bottom line is, it's all about power, spec, experience, performance. So, it depends on what's your preference on those. You're going to say what's your secondary and your primary. Like I said, for me personally, my primary gaming is on the PlayStation 5, then Xbox, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. Like Nintendo Prime said, Nintendo Switch, PC, Xbox, and then PlayStation. Again, it's different preference there. But with that said, here's the point about the majority. So there's a lot of kind of mixed bag what's happening. Some say this, some say that. So Nintendo Prime said that the majority of people have Switches. That's true. But the question is, how many people only have Switches? So he said there's a lot. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe he had the numbers. But from what I heard, and this is what I heard from a lot of people I talked to, what I read in the internet, again, maybe the information is incomplete. The majority of people who have Switches, including myself, also have other console. Believe it or not. So you wait a minute. Wow. So there's a lot of people that are rich bastard. Who knows? I don't know. But a lot of people said that the people that have Switches, to some extent, the majority have other console, not the other way around. But again, I could be wrong. Nintendo Prime could be right. Again, I don't know what the facts is. They're not really saying that because there is no statistic that, okay, do you have X, Y, and Z? I mean, you could probably do a poll, but it's probably going to be incomplete information, but it is what it is there. Second, oh, I see Nintendo as a secondary console. Who is saying that? And believe it or not, again, same goes. Maybe it's an incomplete information, but I read it on the internet, talked to some people, is that some people that they know that who are casual, who are not into the video game, and when they look at Nintendo, one thing that they hear, there's a lot of things, but one of the things that they heard that always keeps repeating as a narrative is, oh, people treat Nintendo console as a secondary. Why is that? I'm so confused. But there are some I've seen that people do prefer Nintendo Switch as their primary, but the majority again is secondary because they hear that talk. They're hearing, why is that secondary? Oh, because the performance is not good. Oh, they don't have the good games. Okay, the good games technically are the AAA, more powerful performance game. Yeah, Nintendo Prime did say that there are some exclusive for the Nintendo Switch, but what are they? Indies, Nintendo games that you use the Switch as a touch and go screen. Again, yeah, they might be exclusive, but what is it? Indies versus what? Retail games? I mean, can you play Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch? Final Fantasy 15? Tekken 7? Soul Calibur 6? Street Fighter 5? Oh, okay, maybe not that one. Street Fighter 6? Etc, etc, etc? Probably not. But then they have some indie games that maybe it is exclusive, like Blossom, good game. And there are some other ones, but some of them are also being ported to other console with trophies, and that's another problem there. That's the reason why some people, the majority, also say why I treat a Nintendo console secondary, or some people kind of believe that that's what it looks like. Again, from talks is besides the performances, there are some features that are lacking or not good. Online, it's questionable to some extent from what I understand. I had a little bit of problem, but it wasn't like really bad. And then, of course, in my main channel, if you saw what I did, Nintendo Switch win. And that is, where is the system-based achievement? They're still not doing it. Rumor has it with Dina, they might do it on their next Nintendo console. They are sort of starting with the mission reward. And of course, if their mobile game have something, you get platinum coins. For whatever reason, they stop, but hopefully they come back to it in the long run. But you kind of notice they are trying to. I know Miyamoto doesn't like achievement. He's old school. Because Nintendo's philosophy is video games are supposed to be fun. Okay, that's true, fine. It is what it is. If you want that to believe, more power to you. But some people, they want, and like I said, not need, want to have a system-based achievement on their Nintendo system. Not need. You don't need to do it. But if you want more people to flock on your console and stop thinking that it's a secondary, then you might want to do it. Just difference. But they don't have to. But if you want to sell more, they might need to. Again, want and need. Like I said, personally, I don't need a new Nintendo console. But if they do reveal one, yeah, sure, I want one, but not as soon as possible. I'm not going to get one on day one. I never did. That's my policy. I'll wait for a while eventually. Because I don't need to play like the new Mario as soon as possible because I'm getting old anyway. And again, for me, backlog. But you know my status. I got a lot of games. Backlog. Not everyone do. So my thoughts about this is that it is kind of crazy that you're not going to find a middle ground to the situation. There are going to be people that said, no, I don't want it. No, I don't need it. I'm cool with it. And there are some that say, oh, we're going to need it. Again, it depends of your background of why. And why is it when you say something like this, people get pissed? When you say something like that, it gets pissed. I mean, Nintendo Prime and Switch Force can explain that everything they're trying to talk about in Switch Pro or new Nintendo console, people always going to argue. Because, and I said it before, when Switch Force kind of talk about Pokemon Scarlet Violet, about the open world, but the performance issue is the fear of narrative control. So one of this day, I'm going to talk about it, give my thoughts. And what is this fear of narrative control? But To the general viewers, you probably can understand the gist of it. Technically, the control of the story, the control of the narrative, the control of the business. Because I just say sometimes that fear of narrative control, it is powerful. It can happen. So there is that fear of the narrative control. So when the majority of people say they don't need a new Switch Pro, no new Nintendo Switch, Nintendo new console, whatever, and then they're seeing that the business, they might not do it. And then what? Oh, we're gonna have to wait until 2024, 2025 for a new Nintendo console. That's it. And then if you go do the other way around, and suddenly the narrative is new Nintendo console, need one. And then what's gonna happen? Well, here's the thing. If you remember the Super Nintendo controversy, so people who don't know what that is at the time in 1992, Nintendo announced the Super Nintendo. Rather than people, the kids are happy, because I was happy, the parents who are not in tune to the video game business, and of course they're the only one with the money. A kid doesn't have money, and they're pissed. They're mad. Like, why? Because they believe at the time Nintendo was trying to fool them, a cash grab, believe it or not. Some even people said, oh, Nintendo should create a new console, but you have your Nintendo. Why don't you just buy those Super Nintendo games to play in your Nintendo games? I know it doesn't make sense, but because at the time, the belief is because there's more money to be thrown in. I'm not gonna lie, it actually happened to me too, believe it or not. I asked my mom, hey, can you buy me Super Nintendo for Christmas? She said, why? You don't need one. Right, I don't need one, but I want one. There you go. Or it also could be the Wii U controversy, where the general consumer, or even people in tune, believe it or not, didn't understand the Wii U. Remember, when I saw the Wii U for the first time, I thought it was the gamepad for the Wii. So imagine a general consumer, the general audience trying to buy your Wii U, and they say, wait, is it a new console? I thought it was a accessory for the Wii because of the name itself. You're gonna see that. And another one, believe it or not, I had talked to a lot of retailer about it, the Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo 2DS, and guess what happened? You guessed it. A lot of the general consumer, the parents said, do you have any games for the Nintendo 2DS? And then the retailer gets confused, like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, my son has a new 2DS. Oh no, he plays 3DS game on the 2DS. Poor marketing. What do you expect? So that's when Nintendo's taking their time to some extent to figure out what's their next console. If you make it very identical to the previous one, the general consumer, again, it's not just a hardcore Nintendo fan, Nintendo loyalist, but you have to think about the general consumer. You got the main audience, you also have to target your audience. They might get confused. So if they do a Switch 2, it makes sense as a hardcore, yeah. A powerful Switch that can play 4K on the go, like the Steam Deck. What is the general consumer going to say? Oh, Switch, Switch Pro, what's the difference? I don't understand. Why is that one so expensive? Again, like Nintendo has to be careful for what it is. You might say, well, the Xbox didn't have a problem. PlayStation didn't have a problem. Yeah, guess what? The general consumer are not in tune to those consoles. Believe it or not. There may be some, but the majority of people who are buying PlayStation and Xbox console are hardcore who are in tune to the video game. So the hardcore, the probably casual who are in tune to the video game business, they know. The general consumer, your mom and dad probably not gonna know. But when it comes to Nintendo, it's a different story because they're synonymous. Sony and Microsoft, yeah, but not to an extent. See, that's the reason. So with Sony and Microsoft, they get away with it. With Nintendo, they can't. That's the problem. Their market is way different. Their target audience is different than their main audience. So say it is a Switch 2, what's going to happen? Oh, I don't understand. Why is that Switch 2? Is that a powerful Switch? So why can't I just get that Switch? It's cheaper and my son's going to be happy. Yeah, but he can't play the new Mario game, the new Zelda game. Again, you kind of see what's the problem there. So, in conclusion, my thoughts is, yeah, the Switch Pro, the Nintendo Switch console drama, it's crazy. I think people need to just relax, but it is what it is. This Pro story been out since 2020 because people who are in tune to Nintendo and they're Nintendo loyalists and maybe they only have Switch as a console are desperate to want one. That's what. I don't know what you can say. Like for me personally, because I got multiple console, that's why I treat my Nintendo console as a secondary. I know people don't like that because, like I said, fear of nature of control. That's what happened to the Wii U. Oh, the price drop. Oh, well, we don't have any more third-party games on it. Iwata basically admitted it, so there you go. And then when people heard that, especially the general audience, the general consumer, guess what? They just said, oh, well, maybe it's better to get a PlayStation rather than a Nintendo console. Just saying at the time. Who knows? So there you go. That's my thoughts. And hopefully this is going to be the last and only time I'm going to give my thoughts about the Switch Pro and the next Nintendo console, unless Nintendo make an announcement. Some rumor might be 2024, but that's going to be a long time. But the bottom line really is, you can't win with that topic. Good luck with it. And like I said, for me, when I look at my Nintendo console, I treat them as a secondary console. So with that, I'll see you guys later.